All right, so what's the name of this dude? What's this dude now?
This is from a different perspective.
A different perspective. Only man can love a woman with no money, no house, or no car. Only a man can love a woman and accept nothing in return. Women can't do that. A woman loves comes with the conditions. You must have this and that. A man just wants peace. Only thing a woman love unconditionally is their kid. A different perspective. Posted this on YouTube or on Instagram at Fun Show Graphics. I guess he was a repost. Okay. I don't think some of them don't even love their kids, you know? Some of them don't. You know? But I definitely get where you're coming from. I didn't support people before.
I mean, I understand that. But I wouldn't say that only men can love a woman with no money, no house, or no car. Only a man can love a woman and expect nothing in return. That's absolutely a lie, because every man expects something from a woman. Whether it's loyalty, whether it's sex and loyalty, you know, whether it's basically just someone just to be there in general. But something is always expected out of another individual. To want nothing from someone is basically saying that a man will just go and pick up or take any woman, regardless of the way she looks or what she does not have or have, and he'll just take her and be happy with her. That's not the case. Just like women have preferences, men have preferences. Men are mostly visual creatures. So a man goes off of what he sees. Most women go off of what they feel or hear. That's the difference. I don't think that it's true in the case of that a man can only love a woman unconditionally, basically, and she has nothing to offer. I just doubt that, you know, and I doubt that it's not possible for a woman to love a man and basically just love him for him and not want anything materialistically in return. Of course, she's going to want something, just like that man is going to want something from that woman. Whether, once again, it's intimacy, it's companionship, or it's just somebody to be around, you know? But it's something he's going to want from her. You know, it may not be financially, but he's still going to want something from her. And you have some women out there who basically do not require any finances from a man at all whatsoever, that they are willing to love a man unconditionally. A lot of women out here, it's kind of maybe shallow to say, but you have a lot of women out here that, you know, they will actually pay for sex from a man, you know, like they want a man so bad, you know, basically just to, in a sense, have somebody around that they're willing to pay for sex, okay? You also have some women out here that want a man so bad that not only are they willing to basically accept him with nothing, they're willing to accept men that they know for a fact that are basically undercover, you know? It's a lot of women out here that know exactly what their men are doing, you know? But in the same token, it's like, why would I sit here and complain about it and basically cause some type of issue or problem with me and him when this is all I have? Like, I want him so bad, I'm willing to just take whatever. Like, not gonna give that up, you know? So once again, I just feel like it's different strokes for different folks. You do have some women out here that basically, in order to be with them, they have a laundry list of things. You have some women out here that basically only have a list of 2-3 things, you know? It all depends on the individual and the environment that they were brought up in, period. People got to understand that it doesn't necessarily really have to do so much with color. It's just as an environment and where you were brought up, period. Like the type of people you were brought up, you know, your upbringing and stuff like that, what you saw coming up, you know, what you value, you know, or what your parents, hopefully, you know, you had both of them in your life, but if you didn't, you know, what at least that one parent valued, you know.
I mean, it's an old mentality that used to go, you know, that a man has to, you know, take care of the house, bring home the bacon, be a provider. That's the word, a provider. So I think that's what he's getting at. That a man will do all of these things, yet a woman, if a man can't provide, suddenly brings his stock down.
I definitely understand you there. But once again, it all goes back to different strokes for different folks. Simply because if that's the case, you would not have women out here that are actually paying young men or even older men to be in a relationship with them. You literally have men out here that have no job and don't plan on having a job. You have some men out here that basically never worked a day in their life, that the only thing they've ever done was basically live off of a woman. So at the end of the day, you can't sit there and say that, oh, a woman expects, this and that and finances and stuff like that, when basically you have a large percentage of men, and it's shown,
Would you say that would you say that men have been the predominant, how would you say, provider, and the women haven't never done it, but women are definitely is getting more and more and more nowadays that women are being the provider and men are being taken care of instead of doing the taking care of.
Yes, in a sense, yeah, I do feel that. And I kind of feel like things are, in a sense, off balance. What I mean by that, it doesn't really matter who brings the money in the house at the end of the day, as long as at the end of the day, there's a level of respect where the woman relationship, she does not try to demasculate her man, husband, boyfriend, whatever, significant other, whatever she would like to call them, that she doesn't basically demasculate them in any way, make them feel less than if they are basically earning less than her, or if, God forbid, they got laid off and, they're in the process of, trying to find, transitioning to either another job or possibly starting their own company.
See, that's the thing. A man would be content if a woman never did that. You know what I mean?
Like, a woman never did what?
She wouldn't have never had to get a job or anything, nothing like that. But you think a woman would in turn...
You're saying all men?
No, I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying in the era of that were a man providing for a woman, some men would never want their wife to work and only want her to be in the house. Do the woman thing.
Yeah, you do have a percentage of men that are like that, but you also have a large percentage of men who will tell you right up front, hey, my money is my money and your money is your money. So hopefully you have your own money, so if you want to do something.
I think those same men say that same thing too. I'm just going to say.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that my money is my money and stuff. Even a housewife, she's been a housewife for years and everything. The husband, he's worked. He's still, in his eyes, is my money is my money. Even though he does nothing to let her work or do anything, he would definitely leave her with nothing and move on and stuff like that. And that's why the divorces and stuff have got better, because she supported him and stuff like that. So that my money thing, that's a real issue,
Yeah.
So
there is no R, there's no teamwork, there's no togetherness. Even though you basically, when it's a marriage, it's a partnership. It's a legal partnership, a legal agreement that you've basically signed into as partners. And you guys have basically come into this business called marriage that you've both signed into. And unfortunately, it is unfair. I think it's unfair in a lot of different ways, both for male and female. It's unfair when you have men who get into relationships with women and the men are already self-made. And then they get into a relationship with a woman who doesn't necessarily want to be with them for who they are, even though the male does have to do some internal looking within himself to basically ask himself, like, how did I end up with somebody who really didn't want to be with me for me and they just wanted my money? How could I not have seen that? So that is something they need to check. But in the same token, it still doesn't make what the female in that situation, it doesn't make what she does right. As far as like, she'll sit there and she'll stay with him and play her role, and then she'll basically hurry up and divorce them after a certain amount of time if they have a prenup that has a clause in it for so many years. And she'll divorce him and take all his money, and that's just it. I think that's completely wrong. I think that is just bullshit, period. I think there should be some type of special law for individuals like that, period, whether it's male or female, and I don't approve of that. Now, it's different if they're in a relationship and they've been married for umpteen years, and the person that's in a marriage with them has actually helped them to accumulate that wealth or some of that wealth. If during that time in the relationship that wealth was accumulated, if they did not at least attempt to help their partner and possibly try and start their own, if they didn't mind their partner working, or basically just putting a large lump sum away in a trust for that partner, as part of, well, you have been helping me, so I'm going to just put this little to the side for you, and then it'll continue to grow just for you. So if anything does happen, God forbid, you're good, and I don't have to worry about you coming in and trying, so that's fine. That stuff like that, I understand.
But so inside the post here, he says that the only thing that a woman truly loves is their kids, their offspring, and stuff like that. Is that it? Do they never have any love for the man?
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Because I think when he's saying is that the only thing they ever love is the man. No matter what the man do, there's another man that can come along and do all of these things for him. And he's saying that they don't love him; they just love the things that he does. And the only thing that he does is, I guess, being a provider. And he said the only thing they love is their kids. So how do a woman who's being provided for show her love in order to, show that it's more than just money, I guess? Because I don't know how he got to just only love their kids. I mean, there's love and relationship for the partner, right? A provider. Or would a woman see a man as a provider and not a partner?
I think what they were saying, and mind you, it didn't come from a different perspective. He basically just reposted something that someone else posted. But I think what the person that initially posted was getting at is the only thing that a woman can love unconditionally when she's basically that she doesn't expect anything from, period. But she still can love it unconditionally. It's her children.
Okay.
Me personally, I don't have children, so I can't really answer to that. But in the same token, I don't really feel that that's the case, because you have too many stories where you have women who have killed their babies, whether it was a newborn, infant, toddler, on up. And this is something that is well known. So it's not like it's some secret or anything.
Now,
so
what do you think of mothers that do that shit? You know what I'm saying? That turn murder their kids.
I'm sorry, that deletes their kids.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like mothers that delete their kids are first and foremost, people need to understand. Just because an individual can hold a baby, carry a baby, and give birth does not mean that they are a mother. Being able to get pregnant, hold a baby, and give birth only means that you are able to reproduce. It does not necessarily mean that since you are pregnant since you are carrying another life and human being inside of you, that automatically you will have that connection, because that's just not the case. It's been shown so many times that you have so many different women who have went through pregnancies and had the baby and had no connection to the baby at all. Some felt that maybe it was due to postpartum depression. And then some found out that just wasn't it. They just did not really have a connection with their child, period. It's
a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But I feel like I said, I feel like parents that delete their kids, they don't really want to be parents to begin with. Rather,
do you think that if they didn't want the kids, it should have got out of us?
Not even that.
Or do you count murdering their kids and abortion as the same?
self-deleting a baby in a sense, because that's what I think abortion is. And basically just deleting a child after the child has actually got here and arrived and everything. I think those are two different things. Like, I think the first one is like, I don't think this is just me, I don't think it has to go that way, because you can always basically give up your child for adoption, even though I do understand a lot of parents that feel like I don't even want to go that route, because if you look at basically the system, how everything is set up, it's just so screwed up for the kids, but don't, because I'm like really way off the subject that we were initially talking about, but back to men are willing to love a woman unconditionally with nothing, and women basically only can love a man under certain conditions. But once again, I just feel like that is different strokes for different folks. Some men are able to love a woman unconditionally with nothing, in return, and some are not.
I believe that women
just like some.
I believe in women that can love unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think men can love unconditionally and with some caveats, some circumstances. Because they expect things. Everybody expects something.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Not that you can't sit there and say you don't expect